Here are all the following clay colors you will need for this tutorial. You will also need acrylic paints too, but I'll show those later. First, you're going to take a fairly large ball of white clay. I've used a ruler for reference here. And you're going to roll this out nice and flat. It's about 1 inch in diameter. And just to show you how thick it is, the height of it, I use the millimeter side of my ruler. Even though it says centimeters, it's millimeters. It's not even a whole millimeter tall. And I just took a large ball dotting tool and just indented where the metal face will go. Well, the endoskeleton. Next, we're going to take another large ball of white clay, almost the same size, and you're going to cut this up into 6 separate pieces, making sure they're in varying sizes, which you can kind of use this picture for reference. And here, again, another reference picture compared to the millimeter side of the ruler. Now, first, we're going to take the 2 largest balls of clay, and we're going to roll these out with our fingers, making them into little teardrop nubs, kind of like this. I don't know what else to call them. Nubs. And then you're going to use your rolling pin or whatever, and you're going to roll these out nice and flat. And then you're going to cut these. As you can see I've done here, you made them into kind of like ear shapes. They're not ears though. I don't know how to describe this shape. Now we're going to take 2 more little nubs, 2 more little teardrop shapes from the other 2 medium-sized balls. Again, we're going to roll these out. I'm using a picture for reference for his face, by the way. That's the best thing to do, use a picture for reference. Again, we're going to cut the excess off, that way it'll connect together like a puzzle piece. And here you can see, I guess I missed a picture. I took the last 2 and added them to the bottom as well, to just make the face structure, the outside. Now I laid it on my first piece of clay that we rolled out, and we're going to take our knife and we're going to cut the excess off from around the edges. Make sure not to press them too hard or they will stick together, which this did happen to mine. Here you can just see where I re-indented the indentations because they kind of got messed up, so just use the tool again if you need to. Here I took the top piece that we just made and indented with a small ball dotting tool where the eye sockets will be. Now just taking your blade or whatever you're going to use and cut out the eye sockets. Make sure they're nice and wide. Make sure you keep all the scrap clay to the side, which is what I've done. And now we're going to take 2 teeny tiny pieces of the scrap white clay and we're going to make these into his eyeballs. I went with a round shape here, but you're going to see later on that I kind of changed it to a teardrop shape so they would fit through the sockets better. So do a teardrop shape, not a round shape. But for now, just make the shape and set the eyeballs to the side, or just leave them on there for now, but don't attach them. Now take some more extra clay, and we're going to get 2 more small balls of clay. These are going to be his ears. So we're going to take the small dotting tool in this next picture and indent on the center of them, pressing down gently. That way we make where the inside of the ear will be. I don't know what to call this. Now take the Primo blush colored clay that we have from the beginning, and we're going to roll out 5 balls of the pink clay in varying sizes. Again, use the millimeter side for measurement. And here I've just taken the 2 smallest ones and put them inside the indentations, and then I used my ball dotting tool to indent them again. Sorry, I can't ever get the words out. Okay, now we're going to take the 2 small ones and we're going to press these down with our finger gently and then attach them. These are going to be his cheeks. And now that last large ball that you saw, we're going to take this and we're going to roll it between our fingers, making another teardrop-ish shaped. You can see it in this picture. This is his nose-like thing, his muzzle. I don't know what it is either. And here I just use my blade, my long blade, to indent the line because you know his face is supposed to be openable. It opens. And now I've just taken my small ball dotting tool and indented where the nose goes. Now we're going to take the silver Primo clay and we're going to roll out 3 balls of clay. Again, here's a ruler for reference on size. And we're going to roll these out in the snake-like teardrop shapes and just press them down into the holes that we've created. Don't be afraid to really push them in there so they'll stay. Now we're going to take those white teardrop shapes, remember not balls, teardrops because they work better, and we're going to place them to where we make sure they line up with the face structure. Right here I also took the bottom of the mouth off because we still have to make the teeth. Next we're going to take a small white ball of clay that's not even a millimeter tall, This is going to be the teeth. So now we're going to roll this into a snake-like shape. And we're going to press this onto the bottom, which you can see on the left, the bottom of the mouth, the jaw, as so. And we're going to take our knife and we're going to cut off the excess on the right and the left side, as you can see here. That way the teeth don't hang out of his mouth. We don't want that. And now you're going to take your dotting tool or whatever you're going to use. I just use the back of my blade and indent it for the teeth. And then you can go ahead and reconnect these. You can go ahead and use glue on this part if you'd like. Well, I mean, just to connect the lower to the upper jaw. Next, I took 2 small pieces of wire that I cut with my wire cutters here, and these are going to help connect the ears. As you can see here, you can use lots of glue to make sure these stay in. I used a lot of glue to make sure these ears would stay in. Here, I've indented the endoskeleton design. I used a picture again for reference to make it easier. Now we're going to take this black clay. This is a Walmart brand. That's a kid's clay. It's really soft, but I like the softer clay, so it works well for me. Roll out a teeny tiny ball of black clay for the nose. And now we're going to take 2 small to medium sized ones. One slightly larger than the other because we're making his hat. The first one, the small ball, you're going to press down with your finger or your rolling pin or whatever you want to use. The second one, however, you're just going to roll it back and forth with your finger, making it into a cone shape. Kind of like a, like a triangle-ish shape, as you can see here. And we're just going to take it and stand it up with the fat end being on the surface of your cutting board and the narrow end towards the top. And just press down gently with your finger. Don't smush it entirely, just press down. And as you can see here, it just made 2 flat ends on both sides. Now we're going to connect the small cone piece to the flat piece with the small side on the bottom, as you can see I've done here. And you're going to take your blade, whatever type of blade you have, and gently, very gently, you need to cut this in half. And whichever half comes out looking nicer, which is what I did, is the half that you're going to use on the top of your sculpture. Again, use the nicer piece, just for looks. Here, I've just taken tons of cotton swabs, way more than this, and you're just going to clean off the piece front and back. Get as much debris off as you can. Here, I just took a bead tool that I had, and I'm going to puncture a hole in the side of his head. This sounds awful. Make sure it goes through the front and the back of the endoskeleton. Make it bigger than I made it here. As you can see here, it's very small. You need to make it very big. Alright, now you're ready to bake. Take the pieces apart and put it on a pan for the baking instructions. I forgot to put the pan baking picture in that I usually put in. And here I just took the needle, the wire, and ran it all the way through and curled it with my jewelry tools. Cut off the excess with the wire cutters. I only did this because I didn't have a jump ring. You can use a jump ring if you have one big enough. Again, make the hole very wide. Now you're just going to take light blue acrylic paint and dot for the, I should learn the word of this, the iris of the eye. Now for the pupils, you're just going to take your black acrylic paint, which I've had this forever, obviously. Make sure you let the blue dry first. And then you're just going to dot it. And as you can see here, I painted on his eyebrows. Again, make the hole bigger than this. I can't express that enough. And here, I just took the black paint and I painted the in between the endoskeleton's teeth. I know this picture looks complicated here, but all you're going to do is glue on the bead bell and attach the chain with the jump ring. And you have a completed keychain. I hope this was simple enough for you all to follow along, and I hope you'll stay tuned for my next tutorial, and thank you all for watching so very much. Bye-bye!